is going on, everyone? My name is Jamon McKinney, or you can just call me Juice because that is my nickname. I want to talk about the Milwaukee Bucks in this episode right here. So the Milwaukee Bucks have the best record in basketball. Giannis Antetokounmpo, in my opinion, the Greek Freak. I believe he's going to win the NBA MVP this year. They're number one in points per game. They're the best rebounding team. They're great defensively. I do think they're in contention to potentially win the NBA Finals. However, if you ask most people who's the favorites to win it all this year, they're going to probably tell you the Lakers or Clippers. And some people have even said the Boston Celtics. Some people have thrown in the Houston Rockets. I'm personally one of those guys that have done that as well. So the question I want to answer today is, are the Milwaukee Bucks an overrated team heading into the playoffs this year? Now, I don't think they're overrated, but I do believe this team could be exposed in the playoffs earlier than people realize. I would not be shocked if the Milwaukee Bucks lay an egg early in the playoffs. Now, I'm not talking about the first round. They will get past the first round. They will probably beat the Magic or whoever they face. Okay, they're just too good of a team. But outside of a first round, playoff series win, they could be in some trouble. The Bucks have the best record in basketball, but just because you have the best record in the NBA, that doesn't always mean you're going to win the championship. Last year, the Bucks had the best record in basketball, and they did not make the NBA Finals. The Rockets in 2017, 2018 had the best record, lost in the Western Conference Finals. The Golden State Warriors, they went 73-9 a couple years ago. Did not win the championship. So, just because Milwaukee has dominated during the regular season, I don't think that that's necessarily always going to translate over to the postseason. I think right now, the Clippers are better, the Lakers are better, the Rockets are better, and I'll put out an episode about the Houston Rockets over the next couple days, because I think the Houston Rockets are arguably the most slept-on team in the playoffs. So just take me for my word right there about that, okay? And it's a toss-up between Boston and Milwaukee. I would favor Milwaukee over Boston simply because I don't think the Boston Celtics have a lot of size to bother Giannis. But again, Jason Tatum's a real player. They've got a real squad, man. And honestly, I know the Miami Heat are not a better team than the Bucks, but the Miami Heat are a matchup nightmare for the Milwaukee Bucks, in my opinion. So I've got I got three teams that are clearly better than them, and two teams that can give them problems, okay, in my opinion. Now, when I evaluate championship teams, I look at a couple things. The first thing I look at, the one biggest thing I really look at is who's your second option besides your star player. Obviously, Giannis Antetokounmpo is amazing, but who's the second option? We'll get to that in a little bit, but what made the Golden State Warriors so dynamic was Kevin Durant was the best player on the team, but Steph Curry was the second option. Pretty scary. The Clippers, Kawhi Leonard is their first option. Paul George is their second option. He's a top 15 to 10 player in basketball at the moment. The Lakers, LeBron James, top 3 player in basketball. Anthony Davis, one of the 5 to 7 best players in basketball. James Harden and Russell Westbrook, 2 former MVPs. Boston, I like Jason Tatum and Kemba Walker. And not to mention Jaylen Brown is also averaging 20 points per game. The Boston Celtics have 3 guys averaging 20 points per game each night. See, the thing about Milwaukee is Giannis is amazing, but his second option is Chris Middleton. Now, I have nothing against Chris Middleton. He's averaging 21 points per game this year. He's been efficient. He's been a very good player up to this point in his career. I think he's a pretty good defender. He's a very underrated player. But for Chris Middleton's playoff career, he's giving you 16.9 points per game and shooting 42% from the field. That's your second option? Good luck with that. And versus the Raptors last year, we saw Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, and Chris Middleton, aka Giannis Antetokounmpo supporting cast, disappear. And I worry about the Bucks because I don't know who their closer is. I don't think Giannis Antetokounmpo is a great closer because he's not a great one-on-one player. He plays a lot through the low post and relies on his athletic ability to dominate in the paint. But I don't think Giannis Antetokounmpo is necessarily a great closer. Kawhi Leonard exposed him last year in the playoffs. That Raptors defense last year in the playoffs exposed Giannis Antetokounmpo. And when we look at the Clippers, the Lakers, the Rockets, the Celtics, I think those teams had better second and third options. Now, Giannis is going to be the MVP of the league this year, no doubt. But if Giannis Antetokounmpo has an off night, this team is not going to win. And we saw even last year, Giannis was making the right passes and the right plays to his teammates. He was asking his teammates to bail him out in the playoffs versus the Raptors last year, and they simply could not do it. Not to mention Chris Middleton. There's been some reports that he has not touched a basketball in nearly 3 months. Are you kidding me? That's your second option? And we've seen Giannis not be that guy in crunch time. I don't know. I just don't see it, man. I don't think it's the Bucks here. I don't. I think that they're going to get beat either by the Clippers or the Lakers. I would favor the Rockets over them because the Rockets have more firepower offensively as far as, their striking ability from three-point range. I know the Bucks are a more complete team as far as defense and things of that nature. But if James Harden and Russell Westbrook are hot 4 out of the 7 games in the best of 7 series, they're gonna beat this Bucks team. They really are. I think that James Harden and Russell Westbrook are going to be well rested and healthy. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, as far as the Bucks go, Giannis has to show me he's going to be good enough to close out these games. Because last year in the playoffs, when they put a wall around him, he couldn't close out games. And we also saw Giannis Antetokounmpo's teammates in the playoffs fail him. Not to mention Mike Budenholzer. I think he's a talented coach. But sometimes in the playoffs, he struggles a little bit. A couple years ago, he was the head coach of the Atlanta Hawks. They had the best record in the East. They got swept by the Cleveland Cavaliers. We saw last year, he got out-coached by Nick Nurse down the stretch. So, I like Milwaukee. I think they're a contender. I think they're one of the 5 best teams in basketball. But as far as if they're going to win the championship, I'd probably say no. Now, are they an overrated team? I don't think so, but I'm not betting on the Milwaukee Bucks to win the NBA championship this year for all the reasons that I mentioned. This is not Giannis Antetokounmpo's year. And by the way, I mentioned about the Miami Heat. I talked about the Miami Heat a little bit earlier. The reason why I think the Miami Heat can give the Bucks some problems this year is because they have really good defense as far as their perimeter defense and defense at the rim. They can throw multiple bodies at Giannis Antetokounmpo and make him work. Not to mention Eric Spoelstra is an excellent head coach. They've got a young team full of great shooters. And honestly, they got nothing to lose. The Miami Heat are a very young team. They're a very hungry team. And they're not going to be expected to do much during the playoffs. What do they have to lose? Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Bucks are supposed to go to the finals. They're supposed to win it all because they have the best record. And I think that the Miami Heat could really surprise the Bucks. I've seen them match up with the Bucks during the regular season, and at times the Miami Heat got the best of Milwaukee. So don't be shocked if Miami ends up upsetting the Bucks in the playoffs. I don't want any part of the Miami Heat if I'm the Milwaukee Bucks, because from a matchup standpoint, based on what they provide defensively and offensively as far as their ability to shoot the basketball from the perimeter and score points, and slow the game down and make Giannis work for his points, I think the Miami Heat are a very serious team. So, again, I don't think it's Giannis' year. I don't think the Bucks win the championship. And to be quite frankly, if Giannis does not win the title this year, he could leave after this year because I don't think that he has a great chance to win a championship going forward with the Bucks if they can't cash in this year. If they can't cash in this year, Giannis might not ever win a championship with the Bucks because it's not a free agent destination. It's not like Chris Middleton is going to continue to get better. I think that he's kind of peaked as a player. Eric Bledsoe, Brook Lopez, I don't know. So until the Bucks show me they can bring in a top-level free agent to go along with Giannis, and until Giannis shows me he's that guy in crunch time, I can't trust his team. And if I were to project, this is not going to be the Milwaukee Bucks year, and I would not be shocked if they get upset early in the playoffs. That's just my opinion, though. Thank you so much for watching this video today. Please also note that the Juiciest Sports Podcast is not just a YouTube channel. It is available on all podcasting platforms, including Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and Apple Podcasts. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share this content with all your friends. This podcast is my favorite thing in the entire world right now. It is my passion. And I want more people to listen to this podcast. I really want this podcast to grow. Also, a fun fact about me is that I want to go into the sports broadcasting and media world once I graduate from the University of Toledo, a college in Northern Ohio. I currently am a freshman there right now. I am looking to become one of the next great sports broadcasters and analysts out in the world. And I potentially would like to start my own network if this podcast really truly grows. Or if I fall short of that goal, I would love to work for a big-time network like ESPN or Fox Sports 1. I am open to all networks. So if you believe in my dreams and you see or hear my passion through the screen, be sure to tell all your friends about the Juiciest Sports Podcast. Stay motivated, you guys. Have a God bless day, and I'm out.